The driver's license says KKGO HD4, Los Angeles.
But our friends call us Go Country Gold.
You may know our younger brother playing newer country music on Go Country 105.
See the world through whiskey glasses.
But here, it's country classics, California style. Welcome to Go Country Gold.
So today is October 1st, and 1260, which was K Mozart, is now transitioning to a classic country format, and they're just playing this song over and over and over again all day on repeat. Here's their website, gocountrygold.com, and all it has is a player, and it works. Very cool. It's kind of a fun play on the whole AM Gold, FM Light, soft hits of the 70s and 80s. Country Gold, AM. So the signal is pretty strong here in Torrance. This, used to be K Mozart, the classical station that I would use to test and align radios, and the coverage is pretty good. I think this is about a 20 kilowatt station, and it's directional, and it covers out into the desert, like Death Valley, Panamint Valley, kind of up the 395, Lancaster. I've been listening all day, and I don't think I've heard any commercials. It is a new station, so I would expect that to change, but so far I'm impressed.
Go 1260, Go Country Gold.
They just said AM stereo 1260.
Go Country Gold, AM stereo 1260.
Well, I believe the digital side of it is stereo. They're not doing the CQUAM thing. This is our experimental prototype Motorola CQUAM radio that VWestlife donated, and then the world famous engineer Greg worked on. So we know that this works for CQUAM stereo. This station was broadcasting in stereo. There's a little red LED right there that would come on, and you would hear it open up into stereo. You can hear how good the fidelity is when you have a full 10 kilohertz wide IF bandwidth on an AM radio, and this station would sound phenomenal if they put the CQUAM on it.
Tell a friend about Go Country Gold.
Don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. They never stay home and they're always alone.
From the west coast of California to the world at GoCountryGold.com.
Outside cotton in the ditch, we all pick the cotton, but we never got
105.1 Go Country, KKGO, is the only country station here in LA. I think it's an independent station, one of the very few independent stations, and if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong with this, but the owner was actually cutting edge back in the day because he invested a lot in FM before FM was actually a thing. Like, he was ahead of his time. I'd actually like to get a tour of this transmitter site with the engineer. I think it would be fascinating because it's a very clean sounding, well-maintained station. It's just the sound quality is excellent. So if anybody knows, it'd be neat to sort of make a video and visit with the engineer of this, you know, one of the last independent stations here in LA that isn't iHeart or Audacity or Media Matters or whatever that's becoming. And this is really going to open up a whole new use for these old AM radios that I like to service, because, you know, I can only handle so much talk and news and politics, and I actually like this format. So looking for love in all the wrong places.
Go Country Gold, AM stereo 1260.
That's my house and that's my car. That's my dog in my backyard. There's a window to the room.
If you're interested in this radio and you're new to the channel, there's a whole playlist on the adventures of this radio that includes its visit to a couple different AM stereo CQUAM stations. It's a realistic, Radio Shack realistic AM radio that was modified by an engineer at Motorola to demonstrate the Motorola AM stereo CQUAM system. And it had been modified since the engineer had modified it as a prototype radio, and we had to reverse all those modifications, and I got some of them. And then the folks at WION AM stereo, I shipped it there, and they got it on their bench, and a really awesome engineer that's still worked for Motorola and is still doing AM stereo CQUAM at some stations. He went through it and got it back to the way that the Motorola engineer originally had it. And you can see this thing is just so cool. You can see on top, that's the realistic, the original Radio Shack part of the radio. And then down below here, this is the CQUAM AM stereo decoding part. And there's the pots.
That's my car. That's my dog in my backyard.
And it just wakes the fidelity up. So this is a really rare specimen, and I think it's probably one of the more prized radios in my collection. So there's a whole playlist on the adventures of this radio. It kind of made its way all around the country. We visited KYET AM stereo in Arizona, and we got a little tour of that transmitter site. That was super cool, and talked to the engineer there. And then WION, Greg really gets into the theory and operation and all of that, all the technical whiteboard stuff of CQUAM AM stereo and the transmitter site and the station itself. And that's a really cool playlist. Take some time and go and watch it. It's probably several hours worth of videos, but it's worth it if you're into broadcast.
Hillbilly music, the only thing that keeps me